I'll share with you a secret technique that I have, which has served me very well for all these years. Okay. Um, Few days ago, my client is my regular client. He booked a session and he said, I just want to take your advice on something. I said, fine. So, as we were talking, he was telling me about some problem he had at the workplace. So, fine, I listened to him. And then, following that, he said he had some problem in the workplace. Then he had problem at in his relationship, and from there he somehow branched to problems with his weight. From there he moved to problems with his family. He kept going on. I was busy jotting down. Okay, after he said all that, I said, okay, anything else? Saying, nah, that's it. So then I told him, okay, so now what? Saying, no, man, I just I don't know. I told him, okay, stop. Can you recollect and tell me what did you tell me? He's saying, yeah. How many points you had given me? Saying, no, that I don't, but I can tell you kind of what I told you, but not the exact. I said, the reason for that is because you called me just to share, but you don't want to work on those problems. Saying, I didn't understand. I said, if it is important, you'll always write it down. So he said, I didn't follow you. So I kind of gave him simple examples. I said, when you take a bank loan, do you do it verbally or in writing? He said, in writing. If there's an important transaction, you take it in writing or with written evidence? He said, yeah. I said, even when you want to type an email, you have something in writing, right? Writing means digital, at least there is the evidence. He said, yeah. I said, the reason for that is because when something is important, we write. So even with you, you booked a session, but you're just rambling. If it was really important, you wouldn't ramble, you'd write it down. And after you'd write it down, you would go point by point. I said, in fact, I told him, I can prove it to you. What I'm saying is, valid. He said, yeah, go ahead. He's a senior, very senior person in a corporate company. I said, when you have a meeting, you have a written agenda, right? He said, yeah. Your secretary takes down the minutes of the meeting, right? He said, yeah. And whatever is discussed, you note it down. He said, yeah. Why don't you just do it in memory? He's saying, no, that is important. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I said, when you were speaking, because you gave me all these points, I jotted them down. Okay. And sometimes I tell, when he does something or I have to give him some points, I tell him, jot it down. Because when you write, your whole mind, heart, all your attention is there. In fact, it is even better than typing. So I'm very sure you'll say, hey, Loy, but this technique, what's the technique? I do it all the while. No. I'll tell you where it is effective. For me, where I realized this technique was useful was when I was undergoing depression, when I was undergoing confusion, when I was going through emotional breakup, when I was going of times where, I was just lost. Or sometimes I had so many problems, I didn't know how to face them. When you write it down on a sheet of paper, you write it down, it empties your mind. It's like all that junk which is here is now on a sheet of paper, and then your mind is empty. And now you can think clearly. In fact, if you notice my videos, I put around 2 to 3 videos per day. At least 3. Minimum. Sometimes it can go more than that. So, how do I get these ideas? From where do I get these ideas? Obviously, thinking. But how do I remember them? Is because I write it down. And when you sit down and when you write something, you remember it. No, sorry. You can refer to it. For me, I have a folder in my um, that is my computer, and I also have Google Docs. Okay, the folder that I have in my iMac, I what I do is anytime I'm browsing to something or I'm seeing a news article or I'm seeing something that stands out, I screenshot that and I put it there. Okay, if I find a video that gives me an idea, you have these shorts. Okay, I download it and I save it there. Okay, and maybe I might not do anything immediately, but I know for a fact this would inspire me later on. On my Google Docs, I keep putting any idea that I get. If I'm sitting down, I don't want it to leave my mind. I'll keep it there. In fact, you'll be very surprised. Sometimes just typed out something there, didn't make any sense. I just wrote it. Later on, when I just went through all that, an idea jumped out. It can be anything, man. But the most powerful is taking a pen and paper and writing it down. I've experimented also with the having an iPad and the Samsung tablet and writing it with that pen on a digital this thing. But by far my favorite is piece of paper and pen. Because what happens is when your fingers move, they're moving, your mind is focused on that writing, your eyes are watching, you're thinking, it's the whole being is involved there. So, if you're undergoing any stress, any amount of stress, or you're going through any problems, or you're seeking solutions, or there's something that is just there in your head, just write it down. In fact, that is where people say, if you write a diary with your thoughts, that itself is very therapeutic. When I went through the breakup, my emotional breakup, every single day I has to write in my diary. I still have it. I has to write in my diary and I has to write my thoughts. And then, obviously, you can make it interesting by cutting stuff from the papers. Today, anyway, everything is digital. But those days has to stick, like a collage from the papers, cut and keep and preserve it. Don't underestimate this technique. And see, no matter how modern life gets, okay, people have voice memos and people have people can even take a video of themselves talk and refer it later. You can use an iPad or even a Galaxy Fold and write it down. Those are used for convenience because obviously you can't take your paper. Some people have a black book. They call it the black book of ideas. They take a small leather bound diary. That's also very useful. I've actually seen very, very rich, successful CEOs. They have this leather bound black diary, small one, which they keep it in their pocket and they'll just scribble ideas. So, I don't know if you have inculcated this habit, but I seriously suggest you have it. The only modification I've done is over the years, I've not kept a book. The reason being is sometimes I tend to lose it, especially when I'm moving. So what I do is, since majority of the time I'm sitting down in my room, I have like pieces of paper folded like as big as my hand. I fold it 4 times and I keep a pen and paper there and I jot down the ideas. Like suppose I'm going to sleep or I just wake up, I get something. And then I leave it there only under the stand. And then when I start my day, I make sure that I transfer this to the Google Doc. Obviously, some of you can do it through iPad and all that. But make it a habit to write. And if you can write on a sheet of paper with a pen, seriously, nothing like it. So let me know your thoughts. Are you the kind who writes with a paper or pen, or do you write with a digital stylus? Or if you have any other technique, how do you keep a track of your ideas and what do you think? I'd be very interested to know. All right. Having said that, this is me signing off. Love to read your comments. Let me know what you think. You guys take care. Ciao.